Everybody, welcome back. I'm Yumble, and today is an excellent day to be a fan of Cities Skylines. There's a new mod that just got released that's literally going to change the game in a bunch of different ways for a bunch of different people. I'm talking about building spawn points. This solves a bunch of problems that I've been kind of adamant about for a long time and changes where vehicles spawn. I'd really like to show you what this mod does. I'm Yumble. Let's get into it. Building spawn points is actually amazing. It's an issue that I've had with the game for a very long time, where the vehicles that are dropping off or picking up stuff, be it service vehicles or typically commercial vehicles are where I have the biggest problem, they always come to the front of the building and in the center. If you've ever watched a hearse or a commercial truck or anything like that, you've noticed that they just kind of end up going to the middle of the building, even if it's in the center of the street, even if there's a perfectly good loading dock. Here's my issue. This loading dock was non-functional until a few minutes ago. Hopefully this DHL truck is going in. Please go in. Oh, come on. Well, the bottom line is, by use of building spawn points, I've moved the spawn and despawn point of this target building to be the loading dock, which it should have been all along, right? Which ideally the game would have allowed that to happen. Now I've got vehicles coming and going from this convenient little loading dock area, which is just amazing to me. If you showed me a video of this a week ago, I would have freaked out. Somebody tipped me off that this mod was happening, and I was so excited. Now you can see trucks are going to come to the back of the building rather than coming through the parking lot. Previously, trucks would all come to the front here, and I've left it so that let's look at the mod. Let me show you. If you go to your store, if you click on the store or the building that you're going to be modifying, once you download the mod, once you've subscribed to it in the Steam Workshop, it's this icon here, building spawn points, or you can use the hotkey Control P, whatever you prefer, whatever's better. For me, I'm going to be clicking this button all the time. And you can see in the interface that there are different trucks here. Building 17109 happens to be this target. There are different types of vehicles: garbage trucks, ambulance, fire truck, hearse, police, taxi. They all have one spawn and unspawn point, and that happens to be dead center for this piece of the building. There's a sub-building over here, but typically in the game, this is where trucks come and go from. If you've seen my previous videos, you've heard me talk about this. It's frustrating that all the vehicles pick up and drop off here. What I did for this is I removed cargo truck and put it down here. I hit the plus button, or excuse me, I hit add point. I added cargo truck, and I moved that point to the back of the building, and now you can see the cargo trucks are spawning and despawning back on the loading dock. I can't think of a way to make them back in. That's not really... City Skylines doesn't really have reverse in the vehicles, but this is a huge step for Cities kind, and I could not be happier about this. I think there's a bunch of applications for this mod. The immediate one that I think of is commercial, where the trucks are always showing up, and they're... In the case of this Best Buy, let's check it out. I'm going to click the Best Buy, I'm going to click our Building Spawn Points button, and you'll be able to see... Okay. That is absolutely awful. So right now the spawn point for all of these things, the spawn and unspawn point, if you see those buttons there on the left, the spawn and unspawn are both pathed to this orange dot. For the garbage truck, cargo truck, ambulance, fire, hearse, police, and taxi. And I'm pretty okay with most of these. Like in reality, an ambulance, which doesn't show up nearly as often as say a cargo truck, can come to the front of the building. I'm okay with that. They don't have to go around behind. But the constant flow of cargo vehicles really makes me want to do this. This is one application of many. It's just super obvious to me, and this is the main reason that I've wanted this. You can remove the cargo truck. I'm going to pause it while I do this, because messing with pathing can be taxing for the city. So it gives this message now: no point in this building contains these types of vehicles. Cargo truck, they will spawn in the default position. No harm, no foul. They're going to spawn here. That's great. But what I want to do, that's not great. That's not what we want. I want to add a point. I want to add cargo trucks. So now cargo trucks have been designated as spawning here. And this is just the center of the asset. That is totally fine. What I want to do is figure out how to get that little marker in the center of the building. I want to get it over to these loading docks. Unless there's a better loading dock on the building. No. There are some, well, actually, Now that you mention it, that's actually probably optimal. This looks like mobile installations for vehicles. Those look like the proper loading docks where the trucks would back in real life. I'm not able to get them to back in, but boy, would I love to get them off the road. So I'm going to change the x-axis a little bit. We'll move it over. I'm going to change the z-axis. We're going to move it back. And I'm just using the scroll wheel here. If you use mods like... actually, this is a mod by Macsergey. He's knocked it out of the park. You can check out his Steam workshop. But he worked on Node Controller Revisited. You know, the Node Controller... the new Node Controller 3.0. It's amazing. Love that one. He also did... he's the sole... person, it seems. I think that he was the intersection marking tool was his brainchild. The interface is exactly the same. Scroll the wheel to change. Shift gives you ×10. Control gives you ×0.1, but just scrolling gives you individual units. So his mods are very consistent. And you can see using the X and Y coordinates, I've moved it to the back of the building. Maybe I want it to be out a little bit. And what this is going to do, it's now going to tell every cargo truck that needs to come and go from this Best Buy, rather than stopping at the front door like all the other vehicles, they're going to come to the side here. Let's not stop there. What if we want fire trucks? You don't necessarily get to choose. Maybe garbage trucks go back there too, right? Like maybe we remove garbage truck from that initial spawn and we put garbage trucks to the back, or better yet, spur of the moment idea, let's pick the garbage truck and we'll take this new marker here. If you get confused about your markers, all you have to do is hover, I think. I believe all you have to do is hover these and they should show you, they should illuminate. At least the original one does. I see this one illuminating. So this is the ambulance fire truck. The services spawn illuminates. The cargo truck spawn looks like it illuminates if we hover it. This one probably does too. I think I can't see it though because of how bright that is. But what if I want cargo trucks to come to the back of the building? And maybe I'll pick a different loading dock, and cargo trucks can go to this loading dock. I'm sorry, garbage trucks, yeah, can go to this one. I'm so excited. This is like super groundbreaking, in my opinion, for Skylines. If I was really crazy about this, I would move that light or put it on the other side of the road. I'll fix that eventually. But now what we have, the garbage truck spawn and unspawn is designated to this point. The cargo truck spawn and unspawn is designated to this point, so the vehicles are going to come around behind the building and stay away from consumer traffic on the front. And for this building at least, I'm going to leave it so that ambulances, fire trucks, hearses, police, taxis, those vehicles can stop at the front if they want to. That seems like it's worth blocking traffic over, in my opinion. This is one application of many. I'm going to go around the city, see if I can find any other places to use this. But one more thought, one more idea. You can copy this configuration, just like intersection marking tool that I mentioned earlier. You can copy this configuration of this building and use it on other buildings. So let's say I like this configuration, or maybe you have a complex way of separating all of the different elements. You'll have to adjust the X and Y axis, obviously. You'll have to move the points on different dimension buildings. They'll have custom spots that you want them. But maybe the separation of these things, maybe the interface is just like intersection marking tool. And if you like that, there's a good reason that you might want to copy and paste this to other buildings. Also apply to all buildings of this type. Holy cow. Holy cow. If you've got 10 Best Buys in the city, first of all, maybe you want to diversify your assets. But let's say you're using the same type of building repeatedly. It could be a police station, it could be a fire station, it could be a garbage area, it could be anything. But if you want to apply that change that you've made to all buildings of that type, all your Best Buys, you hit that button. Holy cow. Let's see if we can find another place to use building spawn points. So here's another good example. This building, nice asset, 25 Telegram Muse, Toronto. I forget who made it, but very nice looking asset. I really like that building a lot. It's very, very, very close to the road for my liking, and the way that the buildings tend to spawn, the way the vehicles tend to spawn, or the service vehicles that come to interact with the building, the way that they operate tends to block traffic in a way that I really don't like. So a quick fix for that, what a lot of people like to do is when they place a new building, they'll do complex things, or the vanilla way of solving this problem is to take that building and build it away from the road. So some people will take to, like, let's say I wanted to build a bus station away from the road. I would build the bus station, and then I would downgrade the road to a 2-lane road or something like that. You know, downgrade this to a 2-lane road so that the bus station, this is not a good looking example, but the point is the bus station is now kind of recessed away from the road. It buys it a whole unit there. What I'd like to do, rather than doing that kind of workaround trick, I'm just going to take the mod that we just got. I'm just going to take our building spawn point, and I'm just going to move it away a little bit. I'm gonna move it back. So now, I don't think it's going to fix this hearse, but the next time a vehicle comes to interact with the building, come on guys, you can see here's the problem right here. For example, the traffic backs up. There's no real reason to have that in the middle of this arterial, but what you can do is move it back a little ways, and then the next vehicle that comes along, hopefully soon, is going to go back and not be in the road. They're going to block the sidewalk. To me, that's preferred to what's going on here. So it seems that this hearse is about to replicate the same thing we had earlier, but I want to see what it looks like with that spawn point moved back just a little bit. I want to see if that worked the way that I intended. I had to wait a little while before someone actually showed up to to take care of this, but this hearse came to my rescue. So look, it's off the road. It's in the building, so maybe, you know, note to self, maybe I can nudge that node back a little bit if it's in the building, and if that's looking weird to you, I understand. So I'll move it back a little bit for the next one that comes along. But now, traffic should be able to pass this situation, and that's awesome. I have to go to everywhere in my city now to fix this, probably. But the fact that I can is amazing. I was thinking of crazy workarounds to this problem and like how to make assets that have different spawn points, and I don't think you have to. I think that this mod allows you to the flexibility to achieve this in different situations, like to kind of tailor the result to what your city needs in the moment. You know, you can take whatever building you're using, and if you notice that there's a backup in traffic due to some anomaly or some strange behavior in the vehicles, you can totally be proactive and fix that yourself, and I think that's super empowering. Another application for this mod that I think would be pretty useful, let's see if we can pull it off here. What if I wanted to make a spawn point for all the vehicles and an unspawn point also for all the vehicles? So this is a police station. So you'll see cars appearing and disappearing in this spot by default because it's the middle of the building, and that's fine. I haven't actually tried this yet, but I'm betting that I can make a spawn location, or excuse me, I can take this spawn. If this works the way that I think it does, I have a strong suspicion that I can use these doors here and move this one back into the door. And then I'm going to add another point and make it an unspawn. The plus button here is add all types of vehicles. So this is the same but opposite, you know. It's automatically appearing in the middle. So it looks like orange. Oh, illuminating. Orange means spawn and unspawn. Red is unspawn. Green is spawn. It's color-coded. I'm literally learning as I go. This mod, there's always a chance that things will be expanded upon, so things may have expanded already by the time you're watching this video, but this is super useful, even just the way that it works now. So now we've got our spawn in green, our unspawn in red, and I want to see, let's stick around for a second and see how the police vehicles handle this change that we've made. Oh, and there they are. Nope. They're already pathed there. So what I think has happened there, I'm 99% sure... Oh, that was good. I'm 99% sure that this is the old path that I have just changed. Oh, are you going to stop here? Nope. I think that when they're coming diagonally, that means they were already pathed to this point on the building, and then they automatically fly to the unspawn. Future vehicles are going to work correctly, I'm fairly sure. I think I've found another unique situation that I'd like to consider. This is a park... This is a park asset, the swimming pool here, that's built on a kind of pedestrian road, and to make the pedestrian road work the way that I want to, I had to ban a bunch of vehicles, and I left the emergency vehicles and the recycling, you know, the garbage trucks active on these roads, And that was kind of a compromise in my opinion. I said, oh, well, this thing is going to have needs eventually. I think a good application for this so that I can successfully ban those vehicles on this pedestrian street, because that's really what I'd prefer to do, honestly, is take the same mod. We're going to take the building spawn points, and I'm going to take this spawn point, and I'm going to do the opposite thing. I'm going to move it towards the road. So now, if this is on the road, let's say it's over here, perhaps. You know, it can go anywhere. Let's say that this is where this area takes out the garbage. You know, maybe that's the case. Now I can go back and using, I'll do this in a little bit, but now using Traffic Manager, I can finally ban those other vehicles very quickly by holding Shift. Pro tip, hold Shift to do everything really quickly with Traffic Manager, to apply that change to the whole road. And there it is. I said I was going to go back and do it later. I just did it in real time. So now when vehicles show up to, they may have to repath or what have you, but this pink line is a service vehicle. What is that? So this one, this police vehicle, it looks like, is going to come, rather than having to drive on this, now they no longer have to. Now they can show up and, oh geez, okay. Okay. Well, you know, maybe that will fix eventually, but I don't want cars driving around on this pedestrian road, so the fact that I can manipulate that spawn point is going to be super valuable in so many different areas of the city. Parks, shopping situations, everything. There are applications for this that I have definitely not thought of. I want to hear your favorite application in the comments. Please and thank you. Everyone, thank you so much for listening to me on this. I'm beside myself. I'm still not even sure how this change is going to affect my city in total. Like, I'm going to go and change a bunch of spawn points in a minute here. I'm going to go look at my traffic after and see all those awkward places where vehicles were blocking the road in the past where they shouldn't have been, realistically. You can add realism to the game and still allow traffic to get around your service vehicles, your delivery vehicles, transit vehicles. It affects taxi as well. I'm so ready to see what this is going to do for everybody. Please feel free to join the Discord. There's a Yumble Corp Discord where we hang out and we talk about our cities. I also stream over at Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Yumble TV. Once again, thank you so much for being here. I've been Yumble. I'll see you in the next stream or the next video.